I wanted to just introduce Chief Sheldon Kent from Black River First Nation. Chief Sheldon Kent from Black River First Nation in Manitoba, and the treaty area is?
It's Treaty 5.
Treaty 5, yeah.
Did you ask the chief to come in?
I've actually invited all the chiefs to come and be a part of the grander sort of ceremony, and a number of them replied, and Chief Kent was one of them.
Can you tell us about your decision to join this delegation and what it means to you?
I was really conflicted when I got the invitation, and it's because of that long history that covers a period of colonization and genocide against First Nations people in Canada. And so that was my big hesitation, was to be in some way, by being here, to be seen as indicating that there were no consequences for that, and there are consequences for it. And so that was my conflict. At the same time, we do have a treaty relationship with the Crown that predates the country of Canada. And so when I reached out to a number of chiefs to talk to them about it, they indicated that I had to be here to make that representation and to show people that we're still here, that we have survived colonization, that we have survived genocide, and that we have this long-standing relationship with the Crown that goes formally back to 1763. And so it's important for me to be here.
Do you think that you being here too sends a signal, or what signal does it send to the King? And Chief, you can get in on this too, but I'll let the National Chief answer.
Yeah,
Sure.
Because
Go
he
ahead.
was just in Canada in the
Yes.
spring, and part of that trip was about reconciliation. So I wonder what message your presence also sends to him.
I'll let you answer first.
Well, first of all, I want to acknowledge the great spirit for us being here. You know, our people in Canada, they thought we were going to be extinguished. They thought we were going to be gone. They even took photos of us, of our communities, and today we're still here, despite all the colonization and everything I went through, everything our people went through, we had to endure. So the message we're sending today is we're still here. We're not going anywhere. We still believe in that relationship with the British Crown, because that's who we signed treaties with. Canada was formed later, and Canada has abrogated our treaties. They're not fulfilling them in the fullest extent, but National Chief is working on that with our Prime Minister. But as one of the 600 plus nations in Canada, I'm one representative from Treaty 5, and there's 40 of us that are signature to Treaty 5. 130,000 of us citizens in the Treaty 5 territory. But before colonization came, there was millions and millions of people there. They brought infested blankets and wiped out many of our people. They thought we would be extinct, but we're not extinct. We're not going anywhere. Hopefully that answers your question. Yeah.
National Chief, do you want to answer that too? Like,
No, I
think. Just in terms of what message you would like to send to the King as well by your presence here, and your hope for how he engages going forward.
Well, during the mourning period, I have nothing really to say, because it is the mourning period, and I want to certainly be respectful of that. And I'm also here to help people understand that the Queen of England was a human being. She was a woman, a mother, a grandmother, a great-grandmother, and she had a family that cared about her. And she has many people here in the UK who love her. You can see by the 24-hour lines of people waiting to see her. And so I want to acknowledge that. That's part of my presence here, is to, on behalf of all of the First Nations in Canada, to pay our respects for that woman, that human being that was Queen Elizabeth. I think that's really important during this time.
How do you describe her reign or characterize it? I mean, while she was sovereign, Canada had a policy of residential schools, the 60 Scoop, that continues today, and disproportionate representation of Indigenous people in childcare, child welfare, in prisons. So how do you describe her reign?
Oh, sorry. I wanted to first of all introduce Chief Teresa Sutherland. Sorry,
No.
I keep calling you Sutherland. Teresa Nelson, and I'll let you introduce yourself for your community as well and your treaty area.
Okay. I'm from the Robinson Superior Treaty Area, Teresa Nelson, and Nembagazaga and Anishinaabeg. So, go ahead.
Just to go back to the question was how do you describe her reign? How do you characterize it?
I believe that right now, again, we're in the mourning period, and it's not the proper time and the proper etiquette, and not in the spirit of diplomacy to be making any negative comments about the Queen at this time.
And in May, you asked then Prince Charles for his mother to apologize for the history of residential schools, as well as sort of the neglect of the treaty rights and obligations. Does that request still stand?
When the King, and I understand it'll take him about a year, almost a year, before he goes through the proper ceremony of being the sovereign, like crowned, so to speak. And one of the first things we want to do is have a meeting with him. We are going to request to bring a delegation to London once he has ascended to the throne through the proper ceremony. And we also will be inviting him to Canada again, although he was just there as the Prince of Wales. And we also want to work cooperatively with the royal family and King Charles III after the mourning period, of course, and after he has ascended, on Truth and Reconciliation Call number 45, which is a royal proclamation on reconciliation. So that's the order of how we want things to unfold, and we certainly want to do that in a respectful and kind and diplomatic way.
When I asked the prince in Ottawa if an apology was due, he waved away the question. Do you think he's going to consider it as monarch?
Again, you know, I want to be respectful of the fact that he just lost his mother, and I just am not prepared to speak ill of anyone during their mourning period. So, but I appreciate the questions.
We'll ask them again then in a little bit.
But I do want to invite either of the chiefs to answer those questions, because maybe they have a way of expressing that I just am not prepared to at this point.
I'd like to take I have a position on it. Well, first, on off from our treaty nations in Canada, just like what the National Chief expressed, we want to express our sincere condolences to this country and to the family of the Queen. We know it's a time of mourning, but as human beings, we're all human beings. Because if you take the skin off, every nation we have, it doesn't matter which race it is. If you take the skin off, you know what color that skin is? It's red, like us, the red people. We're all people. We have to we have to move ahead forward in a respectful way, in a humanitarian way, where we recognize that we are the stewards of our land over there, and we're the caretakers of our land in North America, which we call Turtle Island. And so when we come here to recognize our position as sovereign nations in North America. And there's been a huge divide and conquer tactic over there. But the National Chief is going to bring us all together as a nation and move forward in reconciliation. How do we get past all these traumas that were instilled on our people over the years? I recall when I was a very young boy, when Prince Charles married Lady Diana, my grandmother. My aunts asked her, "Who's gonna wake up in the morning at 4 o'clock in the morning and watch the royal wedding?" She got up. My grandmother was a person that went through residential school from she was 4 years old till she finished high school, and then she was taking her nursing. But the point there is we recognize our relationship with the British Crown. And that still is something very viable to this day from our citizens in Canada. The message we're bringing forth, we still recognize our relationship. In all our agreements we sign, when it comes to Canada, it says on behalf of Her Majesty the Queen. That's all going to change. I don't know what they're going to call the King King Charles III. I don't know what the wording will be, but all that will come later. But we're here to bring a message that we still recognize our relationship with the Crown of England.
Can you maybe explain, either National Chief or whoever wants to weigh in, how you view the relationship with the Crown as compared to the Government of Canada, why that relationship is so important?
Well, that's who we signed our treaty. Oh, if you don't mind. Yeah, that's who we signed our treaties with. Our ancestors signed our treaties with the representative, with this British government, the Crown. Queen Victoria was the Queen then, and so that's where that relationship stems from, and that's where our people still believe our ties are directly here, and we have that relationship, and you see it with the Queen's Guards. I guess it's going to be called the King's Guard now, with the big beaver pelted hats, because the beavers were the fur industry when they came initially to North America. That was the industry, that was the trade, that was the commodity of the day, and it's changed over the years now, and so that's still our relationship, and we believe that's still there. Hopefully I answered your question.
You did, thank you.
Thanks so much. Nice to see you.
Thank you.